Pitter patter.
Let's get at her.
Let's get at her.
Super soft.
Birthday.
Puppers.
Beer.
Beer.
Degen.
Stuart.
What?
We didn't plan this at all.
Okay, roasting Tyler low key into that.
Letterkenny, legendary,
Infamously intelligent.
Oh, no! Look what you've done to us! You've ruined everything! Oh, stop it!
There's so many kind of iconic lines and back and forth throughout the series. What was one of your favorite lines to deliver?
There's this scene where Riley and Jonesy are chirping the skids in the bar, I think in season 1, and they rapid fire these chirps, and one of them is, "Fuck Lemony Snicket, what a series of unfortunate events you fucking been through, you ugly fuck." That scene wasn't written. It ended before with dialogue that had been written, and Jacob didn't yell cut, and I stood there like an idiot, and then I looked at Jacob behind the monitor, and I said, "And cut." And he didn't say cut. He walked out and he goes, "Dylan, don't you ever run away from an opportunity to be funny or improvise in this profession ever again. We're not cutting. Back to ones. Dylan, be funny." And I remember thinking, I am so exposed right now. This is terrifying. And the adrenaline just kind of picked up and moved through that scene. And they ended up using that chunk of chirps with the skids, and it's been one of the cornerstones of my acting as I move forward, is don't run away from an opportunity to be funny or to be present, and if the director doesn't yell cut, don't stop acting.
The first one that comes to mind is season 1 when we were sitting in the bar and Dan said, "Here's a tip, it's really hard to get tuna out of your dick hole." And because that was one of my first ad libs on the show. I didn't have a line in that at that part of the scene, but we were shooting it and I threw it out there, and it was the very first instance where we shook the camera.
We would like to cordially invite you in the spirit of family.
Take about 20% off of there, bud.
Spirit of friendship.
More.
Fellowship. More. Camaraderie.
When fans see you, what things do they say when they see you? Do you get quoted lines? Do you get the name the character shouted?
Usually when people recognize me, it's a double take. They're like, they don't think it's me. They're like, I think I look a little different in real life, I guess. I don't know. I guess I don't wear an A-top and flip-flops. People are like, "Whoa, who's this guy? He's normal."
I get that a lot too. Obviously, I don't have long black hair and I don't have the whole get up, so I get that a lot too. I was just out for dinner a couple hours ago and I was talking to this couple. One was from Portland, one's from Canada. We were talking for about an hour and the guy turns to me. He goes, "I gotta say, like, I feel like I've seen you before. I feel like I recognize you." And like I was kind of letting it linger for a bit, and then I mentioned that I was from the show, and it kind of blew their minds a bit because they're big fans of the show. And we were talking for an hour and a half, and they had no idea that I was Stuart from Letterkenny. So that was quite a fun moment. And that just happened 2 hours ago. So
what is it after all these years that you appreciate most about your time on Letterkenny?
The friendships, honestly, like the family that was created and that I feel so loyal to. Yeah, it's just, especially in a work experience, it doesn't always happen. And I'm really proud of everybody for kind of like staying true to themselves. And with every family, there are ups and downs and there are hardships. But we always kind of came together in the end and still continue to do so. And I think that's really rare, and I don't take it for granted.
I've got some amazing relationships that have come out of it. And while most of those are personal right now, I'm sure some of those will turn into professional relationships down the road too, right? Because people want to work with people they like and get along with. And I'm sure we'll see a lot of different Letterkenny folks working together in the future.
We were doing something that a lot of people in this country didn't think was going to succeed. And we did way better than anyone ever expected us to.
Imagine how close you get to your friends in high school or university. Like, we did that 3 times over, and think too hard about it, or might cry, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, it was a really cool group of people that made a really cool show that I think will live on for a long time.